Doesn't feel like it's popping.
Wait.
Come back.
What's
Yo.
up? My name is Curtis.
I'm Lucas.
And we're Sticks.
Today we are breaking down our video. We surprised Ryan Trahan with his own movie, Cut by Cut.
This is Ryan Trahan, sitting down to watch the Ryan Trahan movie.
Ready for my premiere.
And that's us. In complete disbelief, we're sitting down next to our favorite.
Oh my gosh, it's starting now.
Shut up. That looks like me. No freaking way, dude. This is unbelievable.
With zero guarantee we'd be able to track Ryan down, we bought tickets to the other side of the world with one insane goal.
Do you have any way we can contact Ryan Trahan?
Turn his life into a movie.
What's up, guys?
You guys came to Austin without even contacting me?
100%.
This is episode 2 of making trailers for YouTubers until we make an actual freaking movie for Mr. Beast.
You guys are so exciting. I feel like what y'all are doing is so cool.
So the first 30 seconds is pretty intense, but let's start at the beginning.
Jam-packed.
And let's break this down. We'll show you every single thing that we've got going on in this timeline. We use Final Cut.
Love Final Cut.
Let's quickly zoom out to show you the whole thing, because it's quite a behemoth of a project.
It's big.
It's always really satisfying when you get to like the end of a project, you get to zoom out and go, look what we've done.
Look what we've done.
Look at the mess we've made.
We have a bit of a obsession with like having a clean timeline as well. So it's all like on one timeline except for a few outlying shots. But that's just a little bit of like an OCD thing that we do.
So it starts with Ryan walking in, very simple, very static. He sits down and he just says,
Ready for my premiere.
now, when we were editing this, we kind of felt a bit like, do we need to grab the audience's attention even more? For a while, the intro actually looked like this,
This is Ryan Trahan, sitting down to watch the...
just to like straight away tell you who Ryan was. But I think,
It was just too much.
yeah, we wanted to like keep it simple, keep it very stripped back, and kind of just like allow you to focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And so, and even if you break down some of these audio tracks, we added some fake footsteps to really
That puts you in the space. Like,
immerse you in the moment.
without that, play it without that, Kurt.
This is Ryan Trahan, sitting down to watch...
You just feel like you're
not
too
there.
far away.
Yeah.
But if you hear the footsteps, it's like, okay,
This song actually is Ryan's theme song.
from the
And-
Penny series.
This is a penny, and I'm going to use it to cross America in the next 30 days.
And that also helps make it feel like, oh, this is like a Ryan Trahan video that I'm watching. And that's super important for us because we didn't have an audience when we posted this video.
Yeah, we were kind of like hijacking Ryan's audience. So we wanted it to be super familiar. Okay, this might be a Ryan video that we're clicking on, so it's a little bit sneaky.
Yeah.
This is Ryan Trahan.
And something I've always noticed is like the beat of the drum kind of sounds like the voiceover. Like
This
bop,
is
bop, bop,
Ryan
bop, bop,
Trahan.
bop.
Yeah.
This wasn't intentional, but when I was putting in the voiceover, I could tell that, oh, if we put it over a couple more frames, it kind of matches more with the drums and it sounds like something
just goes together.
It's so satisfying.
Movie.
Ready for my premiere.
And even that line, we wrote that down and asked Ryan to say that.
We wanted to hear from him straight away, and he's usually funny with like his like little remarks and stuff. So we
Comedic
wanted to
timing.
let him like have his expression pretty quick. And we timed it so when he was walking, we knew we'd say the intro, he'd sit down, and then he should say this line. So it was all kind of pre-planned.
And that's us. In complete disbelief, we're sitting down next to our favorite.
Oh my gosh, it's starting.
When we wrote this line, introducing ourselves, we didn't plan to have Ryan interrupt us here. So it probably would have looked more like this.
In complete disbelief, we're sitting down next to our favorite YouTuber.
Oh my gosh, it's starting now.
And we thought like, by the time you get to the end of this sentence, we know that people don't care about us.
And
at
you
this
kind of
point,
get what we're
but
saying.
you kind of get what we're saying. So it'd be way funnier if Ryan cut us off because that's what people are there to watch.
Yeah, like
video.
It's like, yeah, this is us, but you don't really care about us. Let's get to the reaction.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's starting now.
Shut up. That looks like me. No freaking way, dude. This is unbelievable. These fast cuts to different angles was intentional. We knew that we started with 2 really long still shots. And so we're like, okay, as soon as we want to get started, we want to show like this is going to be fast paced. It'll be like a crazy reaction from Ryan, a crazy journey.
And we try to like really show a wide spectrum of emotions in Ryan's reactions. So he's not just like laughing the whole time, but he's laughing. He's freaking out. He's in wonder.
To make you feel like this movie is going to give him all sorts of different reactions.
Yeah. And we thought it's also important that we don't show what he's looking at yet. Because there's a rule in like filmmaking, when you show the reaction before you show what the subject is that they're looking at, it creates way more intrigue. So you're seeing Ryan react to something, but you're so curious, like, what is he looking at? And then we tease it a little bit here, but we pixelate the faces
So that you still haven't seen this movie, and then you're like, I want to see this thing. What is Ryan so excited about?
Yeah, what could possibly be that crazy?
This is unbelievable.
With zero guarantee we'd be able to track Ryan down, we bought tickets to the other side of the world with one insane goal.
Do you have any way we can contact? I remember when we were writing this, we were chatting to a friend, and he was like, really emphasize the fact that you guys have no connections with Ryan, and you're taking a big risk straight away. So I think we've got like Ryan's reaction. You're like geared up, ready to see that more in full later, and now you're ready to kind of meet us a little bit, and like we took this crazy leap. So this is where we're trying to show like a foreshadowing of our journey ahead, like just the craziest shots from what we went through. Do you have any way we can contact Ryan Trahan?
Turn his life into a movie.
This was important for like showing we're not just making a film. We're like tracking someone down and asking, trying to find connections. So it's like a documentary, not just like a behind the scenes.
This is what our projects look like when we've kind of culled down all the footage into like one big project. It's like 3 hours long. And this is the whole premiere section. These are all the shoot days, all the calls we have.
In our head, we break it up in like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
And most of the time, when we're writing a voiceover, we kind of use the inbuilt system here on Final Cut just to record something really quickly. And it sounds terrible.
But just to see timing and if like the words we're using line up.
With one main goal, turn Ryan's life into a movie.
It's just handy to have like a quick way to throw in the voice and see if it's working. But I think we do go over our voiceover script like heaps. Like we're like going back and forth, like figuring out the perfect words, pitching each other on why this word makes more sense or why it will be clearer.
We probably wasted a lot of time doing that, but I think it definitely helps. So this is what it kind of sounds like when we just throw a quick line through the Mac microphone. With one main goal,
Do you have any way we can contact Ryan Trahan?
turn Ryan's life into a movie.
What's up, guys?
That's funny.
Anyway, so it's kind of like that, and then we record it properly on our microphones.
Guys, you guys came to Austin without even contacting me.
100%.
This is episode 2 of making trailers for YouTubers until we make an actual freaking movie for Mr. Beast.
So this animation, for a while we're editing, it was actually just like, there was nothing here, it was just blank. And then it was one of the things we did closer to the end of the edit where Lucas kind of had this vision in his head of like how to visualize this sentence of we're making trailers for YouTubers until we make a movie for Mr. Beast. And now it's in like every single one of our videos. But basically, what could you see in your head and how did you bring it to life?
How it looks there is how I was imagining it. Like we're making trailers for YouTubers, showing like thumbnails to show like YouTube videos are being made kind of thing for YouTubers. But then the big finale wasn't the same. It wasn't just another like 4-minute trailer, 3-minute trailer. This is like
actual theater
an actual movie
experience.
that could be in the theater.
Yeah.
So we wanted to like show the contrast of like stacking all these fun projects, but then once you get to the end,
It leads to the big boss.
it leads to the big boss in an actual movie theater. It feels like an animation design. Like the seats kind of look like minions and stuff. Like it's like a nice cartoony effect. If it was a real cinema, it'd just be a little bit like less memorable, I think.
And we also added all these sound effects underneath. These like
All
whooshes.
the whooshes as they come in, so they all feel like, you know, big epic things.
Yeah, and if you play it without it, it's probably like a lot
Different.
more lame
This is episode 2 of making trailers for YouTubers until we make an actual freaking movie for
compared
Yeah.
to this.
This is episode 2 of making trailers for YouTubers until we make an actual freaking movie for Mr. Beast.
I want to go back to this bit. So like
You guys came to Austin without even contacting me.
putting in that little soundbite of Ryan explaining from his perspective how crazy what we did was.
Yeah.
We were like shoving in only the like craziest things in the intro, and it gives you enough context to be
Yeah.
like, whoa, this thing is wild.
And even Ryan saying this here.
You guys are so exciting. I feel like what y'all are doing is so cool.
Playing Ryan's reaction to what we've done for him, like instantly builds credibility. And
Yeah.
it's better than us having to explain it.
Yeah, it's like we're not trying to talk ourselves up, but you can kind of trust Ryan. You're in good hands for the video
Yeah.
because he was, you know, impressed or he had a good time.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you feel like if Ryan likes what these guys did, then maybe I will. And that's why you'll stick around for another 27 minutes to watch the rest of it. For a long time, Lucas and I was shooting wedding videos and business videos before we started YouTube.
We were getting the artist itch where we're like, this is going too long without making like the projects we're passionate about.
Which is short films, which is movies.
Yeah, and we were, doing what we needed to do to survive. We're still using video and stuff to like make money, but I was like turning to Kurt like, we should just like make a channel together. Like, let's make short films. Let's do this. Like, let's get back into why we,
Fell in love with film.
why we fell in love with film.
We started posting short films to YouTube and realizing they weren't really getting views.
But we were liking what we were making, and we thought we were making them quick enough and cheap enough to kind of like keep doing it. The only issue was no one was watching them.
Kind of inspired by Airac to like use social hacking as a tool to grow an audience.
Which is taking other people's audience by creating something that's of value to their audience. That's when we told our friend Nathaniel,
Yep.
and we were like, we're going to do this cool
Mr.
Beast short film. He's like, Mr. Beast short film? Shouldn't that be like a movie?
Yeah.
And then we were like, but we wanted to do it. Like, we wanted to do it now so we can get some
We were
views,
itching.
We wanted to like find an audience. But we were like, that's true. It probably deserves like a bigger film. So what if we started with someone else and led there? So then we're like, we could do Airac because he had that pizza party coming up. We could probably make it and try and show it to him at the pizza party or something like that.
Airac was like our version of testing out if this was even a good concept.
Eric has one of the craziest blow-up stories on YouTube.
And in this video, we're going to show you how we created his very own movie trailer. And
By the time we got to the Ryan one, it was like clear that this is a really cool idea.
Yeah, we were like, this isn't just like a couple people, then we make the Mr. Beast thing. It's more like
Let's draw this out
we
as
could
long as
draw
we
this
can.
out. We could work on our craft. We could work on building an audience and get the audience to help us lead to a real big first feature film.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy because like the alternative would have been posting a short film and then that would have been it.
Yeah.
But this way we were able to grow an audience that not only wants to see a Mr. Beast movie, but enjoys the kind of films that we make.
I feel like what y'all are doing is so cool.
Would you be willing to get us a meeting with Mr. Beast?
the story starts here.
This right here is the biggest kind of retention hook that we could do, which is we just set up the massive high stakes of we're doing this because we want to do the big Mr. Beast movie. And at the end of this video, we're going to ask Ryan to help us make that happen.
So not only in like the first 40 seconds do you want to watch this video, but you have an idea of what we're doing on this channel.
Once we have this massive hook right here, we know we're finished the intro. We have done all we can to get people to stay for the rest of the video.
Now we want to throw you into the craziest situation possible
It's time for the story to start.
and keep you engaged.
The story starts here, Sydney International Airport. We're about to miss a $3,000 flight that we only bought tickets for an hour ago. But this flight is not for Ryan Trahan. It was, however, the day that started it all.
What's the craziest moment to throw you into to make you feel like you're right there with us in some conflict that you can't look away? Because after the intro stops, we wanted the moving train to get going.
We're using words that really heighten the stakes to really get you engaged.
And like shots of us looking
Shots of us-
stressed.
yeah.
And
The music is like, let's play the music by itself. It's so sick.
kind of like one of those songs when they dim the lights at a game show and it's like,
Yeah.
you have to make the biggest decision of your
Yeah.
life. We talk about this a lot with like how to get high stakes because we think like the most interesting videos are when the stakes are really high. You're very invested. There's a lot on the line. And because our goal was so real to us and we had like this last minute idea to go do something really cool, we didn't have to like add fake stakes. We didn't have to like come up with something after the fact or even in the edit sometimes. If your video is boring, it doesn't have real stakes, it's because your goal isn't big enough. Like you need to dream a little bigger and have people around you that are like, this isn't that interesting. Maybe you should like go for something even crazier.
Let's jump ahead to another section where we just got Ryan Trahan's phone number.
Ooh, a juicy section.
Before we play this clip, a bit of context. We just received Ryan Trahan's phone number after trying to find a connection with him. So we're on a huge high.
Because we're about to start shooting the movie and just in time we realized this is all going to be worth it. Ryan is keen to meet up with us.
But then this happened.
Now we just have to make the best dang trailer we've ever made in our lives.
The college staff actor just pulled out. He said I tested positive for COVID this morning, not feeling well. That was like the majority of the shoot today.
So not a great start to the shoot.
This was one of our favorite cuts when we realized that we just got the best news of the video. Like Ryan's number, he's down. But then we also got probably the worst news of the video right after it.
That one of our actors pulled out.
On the morning of the shoot, which we had no clue what to do. So we were genuinely like stressed.
We tried our best in the edit to emulate exactly how it felt for us on the day.
And that cut just does it. Like the excitement, but then you wake up to this massive disappointment. And we didn't have to say much, but just the music leading up and the cut to the next shot just did it all. Yeah. The college staff actor just pulled out.
And I think what's also cool is like we decided not to put music in this next section just to let that feeling of discomfort sit with you. Before writing any voiceover, we try to edit out the whole video just by using cuts and music and filmmaking techniques without having to tell the audience what's happening in the video. So that way they can feel what's happening in the video.
Because we could have said, so that night we went to bed super excited that Ryan gave us his phone number, but the next morning this happened.
Or
the next morning our actor pulled out. And we would have ruined the moment where letting the audience just feel how we felt and respecting the audience to like, they don't need to be spoon-fed everything. Sometimes a cut just does it all.
And now that we were really behind, we had to get creative.
All right, we have a crazy idea. Do you want to play the actor?
I could try.
Yeah? I think it'd be fun.
You like my shirt?
Well, maybe we can change the shirt.
Tom gave me this.
Tom who?
Tom who? Tom Cruise.
So we had to set up this moment because if we went from the actor didn't show up, then straight to us asking our host, first of all, it would have not been as realistic. Like we did waste a lot of time on the day, but also we used the moment of us asking.
Show up. We asked our host Dave to contact anyone he knew in the area.
We needed to introduce him first before he just showed up and saved the moment.
Yeah.
So like we introduced him subtly by saying we asked him for help, and then we kept moving. Now when we come back here, you feel a bit more like in the loop. Like, oh yeah, we didn't think of this. We could ask him to do it.
Yeah. And even like not having a middle section here, it would have just went from, oh, we don't have an actor to, oh, let's ask our host Dave.
Yeah.
But that's just like a beginning and an end, and every story needs a middle as well. And so this part is like us experiencing, trying to overcome the obstacle, but not really having any luck.
This is where I want to highlight the opening like curiosity loops or opening up questions and not closing them before the next one's open.
What's a curiosity loop?
A curiosity loop is kind of like a mini story. So there's a question that gets posed, and you as a viewer, because we're so intrigued by like questions and like things being unresolved, we want to wait until that's resolved, until we get an answer. So I can trust that someone watching, if there's a real question that's been posed to them clearly, that they're not going to leave until they get the answer. So there's a little window of opportunity in between that loop where you could play some stuff that is less hooky and grabby, but still like a real meat for the story.
Pretend this is a question and this is an answer. And then once you give the audience an answer to your question, you can start a new question and an answer. But what's even better is if you do this.
So now you don't even have the answer yet, but you've got a second question and you're about to give this answer. So question, we're about to give the answer. We ask one more question, then give the answer, and now you're hooked. So there was a link in the chain that keeps you kind of like engaged to the next scene.
So before you end one curiosity loop, you start another one, and that'll keep your audience engaged even longer.
Like we have a big issue, like we don't have an actor, and that is a loop that's going all the way through here, but it gets solved at the end here. So right here we have technically no more questions, but what this conversation does right here is it opens up so many other questions, like who is this guy? Why does he know Tom Cruise? And then right after, maybe we can change the shirt.
Tom gave me this.
Tom who?
Tom who? Tom Cruise.
Turns out Dave worked on big movie sets back in his heyday. He even has an Emmy.
Who is this guy?
But this would be his first time on this side of the camera.
And Action.
We answered the question of who's going to fill this role, but now there's a new question of can this guy even act? And then even before we answer that question of can this guy act, we open up a new question.
Probably wondering, what is Ryan's story? And what about it makes it movie worthy?
So with opening up curiosity loops, it's super powerful because sometimes there's some exposition or a moment you want to draw out that if you didn't have a hook right before it, you would probably lose your audience.
Story better than the guy who lived it.
What was that experience like of going to college and then being a YouTube creator?
Honestly, it was such a crazy
This is
time
all
for
messed
me
up.
because I was finally starting to make.
So for this montage section, we decided not to show you the linear journey of us making the movie. We thought it was more interesting for you to learn about Ryan's story for the first time, which is kind of why you clicked on the video while we're making the movie. So the real story that's keeping you hooked is Ryan's story.
Yeah.
But then we realized we could show our B-plot journey of us getting inspired by Ryan's story, listening to Ryan's story, and have these little mini stories playing out for each scene. So we learned that Ryan started out running track and he was really good at it. Then we show us learning about that and then shooting that and then showing the final result. And so now you're getting these little mini stories within Ryan's story, which is really cool because it's curiosity loops again.
It was such a crazy time for me because I was finally starting to make some money on YouTube.
Looks so much like Ryan Trahan.
And I had about 20,000 subscribers at the time, making like a couple $100.
Hey guys, just got into Texas A&M and I'm gonna be documenting the entire journey for you.
That's good. Then I get a call from Texas A&M and they find out about the YouTube channel, the fact that I'm making money, and kind of give me this ultimatum.
Hey Ryan, this looks pretty serious.
It really was between, am I going to continue running or am I going to do...
So it's almost like us as screenwriters are watching with you Ryan's story unfold, and you're with us like
learning about the story
as we brainstorm and like think, oh, how is this going to turn into a film? And then we see that transformation.
Couldn't see a future with playing trumpet. I couldn't see like, all right, is this going to be my thing? So in high school, I picked up running.
Doesn't feel like it's popping.
Wait.
Come back.
So that's a good example of Lucas saying like there's these little mini stories.
You know we have to recreate this moment.
Then we have a little problem, like the shot feels too staticky and unengaging.
It feels like unengaging. So then we have to fix the problem by doing a running gimbal shot. Like, so you just went on a little journey with us to like, we had a problem, we overcame it, and now we're back into Ryan's story.
Which really happens like so often on a film set. It is pretty tricky trying to film like a whole cinematic trailer, but then at the same time, the behind the scenes is equally as important. So we're always thinking like, what's the A camera doing? But then also making sure the vlog camera is capturing our thought processes, and it's a lot to think about on a film set. At the time, it was kind of like, let's just set the BTS camera up and film everything we do, every decision we make. We'll have little lav microphones on to capture all the moments, and we'll figure it out in the edit. These days, it's still very much like that, but I think we have a better idea now of what kind of shots will end up in the final edit of our behind the scenes documentaries. Showing these trailer shots like this, for example, it's so cool to see this in the documentary, but you kind of want to feel like, where are Lucas and Curtis in context to this shot? Like, I want to see this from their perspective.
Yeah, and another example of like, it's important to see our reaction because that's the B plot and we can't forget about that storyline. So we're watching this scene play out.
To use your name, image, or
and we cut to these BTS shots of like, okay, so we get the frame looks good. They're both acting. Now let's see what the directors are thinking.
Of
and
the
like,
scene.
I'm on the camera, Curtis on the mic, and
image or likeness to make money.
you know, are we liking this? Is this good acting? These are all the questions that are being answered by our reaction.
And still be on the team.
And we're like,
That was so good.
And so they
so like us being happy about it, that answers the question from way earlier.
Okay, let's jump to the end. There's one more part we want to show you here. Right after we show Ryan Trahan his own movie, we do something called The Proposition. You're watching this whole video because you're waiting for what we promised you at the start, which was Ryan's full reaction to the film we made him.
Which is all this section here.
And really, after that's done, there's no reason you should be sticking around. But then we thought of this idea of doing The Proposition and hyping that up, because now you want to stick around just after Ryan's reaction to hear us ask him the big question.
As we're walking into the theater, we actually set up
Foreshadowing.
a foreshadowing moment of like, this is the moment you're waiting for, to see Ryan's reaction. But
Don't
before,
forget.
there's one more thing you want to wait till the end of the premiere.
This is your own movie as well.
I know. They always said I wouldn't make it on the big screen. Look at me now.
But what Ryan doesn't know is that after the movie, we are presenting The Proposition.
So like we're saying, this is the big moment, but there's actually an even bigger moment at the end. So just wait till the end.
If we dive in a little here to look
To
at
the
what's
proposition.
happening, this proposition part.
We are presenting The Proposition.
We thought this song with the strings going like ding would be like such a funny and scary kind of moment. So then we use the song to kind of flash these images that remind you of what we set up earlier. That cinematic bass boom really like just makes it feel super epic.
After the movie, we are presenting The Proposition.
The reason why we used two and layered them here is for a couple of reasons. There's like different feelings that both of them are giving. And the bottom one kind of makes it feel more epic and the top one makes it feel kind of more mysterious. And it also makes it a bit more unique as well. So if other, creators are using sound effects, you mash a couple together and you've actually become a bit more of like a specific sound that
Create your own recipe.
Yeah, you're creating your own recipe. So other people likely won't have the same feeling with one sound.
I would be very genuine with you. I really believe in both of you.
Sending in 3, 2,
We smashed it.
and 1.
Good job.
Oh no!
I felt the balls.
I'm called in places I shouldn't be called.
Okay, stop.
We did it. We did it.
So there's two of us. He'll be able to shake our hands like this.
Okay. Let's do it.
That would be nothing. Now they always say congratulations. Watch the heart put girl to vacation.
We really wanted to close all the loops before this video ends. We wanted to make you feel like even on an emotional level, on a social level, every single aspect of this video, you feel like you've gotten that closure of like,
all the
look at these friends we made along the way, all these fun memories we had. We became friends with Ryan, and this moment of even saying we did it.
If we did this whole closure thing after Ryan's answer, a lot of people would click off.
Yeah.
Because that was really the last thing that they were waiting for. But the issue with a lot of like YouTube videos nowadays is like we're not getting a real closure like a movie. In a theater, you're watching a movie, you have a whole like couple scenes where you're getting the closure, you're winding down from the video. And sometimes in YouTube, we just have to cut and be like, sorry, you don't get that. But we were trying to say like, what if we could like still give the closure feeling, still wrap up everything, make it feel like an epic ending, showing the meaning of why we did this, the stuff we learned along the way, like the fun times, and then give you the answer. We knew we could stretch it out just long enough to do this like closure montage before we get the answer and close the video.
So this montage part, there's obviously a lot of random clips from the whole journey that we were on. When I was playing with it, what I discovered is like the more J cuts and L cuts you do, and you kind of mash all the audio together to be like this one uninterrupted sequence of audio, it kind of blends it all into one big memory.
And what's a J cut and an L cut?
So a J cut is like, this audio is for this clip, but the audio doesn't start here where the clip starts. It starts a little earlier, and that's called a J cut.
Because it's a J shape.
And then an L cut is the same thing, but on the end here. So instead of ending the audio when the clip ends, keep it playing.
Your eyes are trying to catch up with what your ears are hearing.
Your ears are like receiving the information first, and then it like softens the feeling of what your eyes are seeing, so that it doesn't feel as abrupt and like jarring.
Yeah, it's like I'm learning about the next scene while I'm watching this one, which kind of mashes it all together.
That helped make this scene feel like one big memory rather than a bunch of random clips that don't make sense together. So let's play it once through with the J cuts and L cuts, and then we'll play it without.
Good job.
Oh no!
I felt the balls.
I'm called in places I shouldn't be called.
Okay, stop.
We did it. We did it.
So there's two of us. He'll be able to shake our hands like this.
J cuts and L cuts allow you also to be more efficient with your timeline because you can add more audio over shots that don't have audio. If we tried to not use any J cuts and L cuts,
let's see what that would sound like.
I'm scared to see what it would feel like.
While Kurt's doing this, I'll explain how
Let me cook.
While he's cooking, I'll explain how we share the edit. So we edited this project together. There was times where we're like sitting next to each other, working on the same thing, taking turns on the keyboard. But in general, we split the video up into sections. Curtis took the beginning and the end, and I took the middle. So I was working on the montage stuff, and I would go deep into that, edit that whole section and show Kurt, then he would give feedback. And he did the same with the first act and the third act. But then we would sit down together, go through the whole thing, and nitpick frames, nitpick like J cuts and L cuts, switch out shots and stuff like that until we were both happy. So it's a very long process when you do it like that. Nowadays, we've got an editing team as well to help with this, but only recently we've started to like not edit the whole thing ourselves.
3, 2, and 1.
Good job.
Oh no!
Not the balls.
I'm cold in places I should.
Andrew and I will press. Okay, stop.
We did it. We did it.
Two of us like this.
It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, obviously, if you like at least put in the words, the main difference is it's so jolty and like cutty. And it's like...
It's kind of subtle, but
yeah,
it definitely makes a difference when you add those smooth J cuts and L cuts.
So getting to the end of this edit was a massive job for us. I think we spent like 2 months on it, right?
Yeah. We filmed this in March and we didn't release it till like June because no one was waiting for us to post this. We had like 2,000 subscribers, but at the time to us that wasn't much. So for us, we just kind of worked on it every day for a couple months.
And some people's grind is like putting out heaps of videos to get better and figure stuff out, which is cool. But we chose the path of like, well, no one's waiting for us to post, so let's just like make this as good as we can. And because it was a big enough idea and we had enough footage to make it feel like a movie, we just didn't stop until we thought it was done. That's why it took 2 months or so.
Most of the techniques that we just explained that we used in this edit were things that we hadn't ever used before in a previous edit. Like we were discovering all these techniques as we edited this for the first time. Like this is one of our first videos where we kind of like really understood storytelling and cracking the code of like what makes a good YouTube video. I think what makes this video so precious to us is like it was our first video, and also there's such a cool underdog story here. But obviously the underdog story can't last forever as you grow your channel.
Which in itself is an obstacle for us to like figure out what are the new stories we can tell, and like what are the new goals that we need to dream up to make a story that's worth watching.